All right, guys. Next up, favorite MC Hammer track. BRF, you go first.
Hmm. Wow. Um. Wow. Man, I would have to go. I think a lot of people's go to is probably like "You Can't Touch This." I think that's a lot of people's go to at Hammer. But
I like Pray
I
though.
have I have respect for him for Pumps and a Bump. I got mad respect for him for that one because he took a lot of flack. Because that's not like an MC Hammer track. That's one of those where they were just like kind of get they were gasping at that one because they weren't expecting that one from Hammer. So I give mad props for Pumps and the Bump. But honestly, I think my favorite one is probably Too Legit to Quit. That's probably my all time favorite Hammer track. And shout out to him, he did have a song off of the Street Fighter soundtrack with Deion Sanders, Straight to My Feet. That was a
Yes.
decent little track. That was a decent little track too. But for me, my favorite Hammer track is probably Too Legit to Quit.
Champ.
Oh man, oh man, love MC Hammer, man. Pump it up was good. The way the hype man was in the back hyping him up the whole time, that one was good. What I loved about Hammer, man, I'm gonna take a page out your book, PSP, man, and he was not afraid to acknowledge God in any of his songs, man. And that's why I love Pray. And look, people talk about Pray. Do Not Pass Me By was a great one. Do Not Pass Me By was a great one, man. And that just shows you the humility of the great MC Hammer, man. Look, people can say all they want to about MC Hammer, man, how the whole $50 million, the whole thing about him, he lost $50 million. You know how the sensationalism goes. But one thing I will commend MC Hammer on, man, this dude literally came up and went back and got his entire community. And if you remember what Oakland was back in the 80s and 90s, look it up. It was not a pretty place. So when you think about guys out of the Bay Area who went back, and rappers in general who went back and got their whole community, I'm not talking about just a couple of guys, went back and grabbed his whole community and took them on the road and put money in their pocket and provided jobs for each and every last one of them. If somebody was to do that today, they would be getting mad props forever. And I really think that MC Hammer deserves a lot of credit for that because that there's not a lot of people that reach back and get certain people who that are gifted that are gonna do the right thing when you make it and just try to put them over. There's not a lot of people like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a few, but there's not a lot. But for you to reach back and grab your entire community that you grew up in and say, look, I got 50 million. I'm gonna play each and every last one of y'all. Make sure y'all pay and y'all ain't gotta do crime no more. And we're gonna restore the community back to the way it was. That was MC Hammer. So if I could think of anything great that he did outside of any song, that was that, man. And big ups to the great MC Hammer, man. So I gotta give you your props on that, man, for going back, reaching back and getting your whole community and giving them a chance to live and give them a chance to put money in their pocket while you were arguably, well, not even arguably, you were the biggest act in rap at one time. 15 million albums. 15 million. How many people these days, even the hottest rap act today, how many people wish they could sell 15 million albums today?
Mm-hmm. Keep on. I love that song. Keep on. The sample of Luther Vandross, Never Too Much. I love the track. I love how Hammer talks about that song. It's a really deep song. The other thing I loved about Hammer, he's paved the way for a lot of the rappers because a lot of them endorsement deals and all that other stuff. Hammer started all that stuff, but
Yeah.
he got a lot of flack and criticism for it. He was even accused of being called a sellout and all that stuff. But nowadays, champ, you're seeing a lot of the rappers, Snoop in particular, doing the endorsement deals and stuff, man. And I think with Hammer, he paved the way. So I think it's important that we give Hammer his flowers and his due, because and also those Hammer dances that he did. I mean, Hammer had the charisma, Hammer had personality. And remember, Chip, do you remember that story between him and Redman?
Oh man, let me tell you something. Look, I'm gonna tell you just like this. Be careful. I'm not gonna go into any stores. You got to look into it yourself because Outkast said the same thing about MC Hammer. Now, go back and look it up on MTV Cribs. But be careful with judging people because at times a smile is really a disguise. And like my father used to tell me, you really don't know who the world you're talking to until you step into the lion's den and then that lion maul you. So yeah, be very, very. This is a tip to the young guys that are watching. Be very careful with how you talk to some of these guys who are real free spirited, and it seems like that they are not about that life because some of them really are. They're just trying to make sure they don't go back. So yeah, be very, very aware of who you're talking to because you just don't know who you're talking to. Like they said in the 48 laws of power, be careful who you offend.
There you go, man. And well, that concludes the rest of the Sports PSP podcast. And for entertainment, for wrestling, favorite Shelton Benjamin moment.
Mm.
Yes. Favorite Shelton Benjamin moment. And for music, favorite Jadakiss moment.
Ooh.
So stay tuned for next week on the Sports PSP podcast.